Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Stampin' Up with Jamie. It is 11 o'clock on Wednesday on the East Coast. So this is my weekly Wednesday live that I do at 11 o'clock. You may be catching the replay, in which case, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you joining and catching the video today. If you're watching live, please come on in. I always say, if you were at my house, I would welcome you in. I would offer you a cup of coffee or some water or something and sit down on my couch and chit chat, whatever. So I hope you feel welcome. I hope you enjoy the video. Please, if you have questions, chime in. Let me know where you're watching from. Come say hi and all the things. So this week, I was so conflicted because last week I started to design this week's cards. I always design them a week ahead. And I got 3 out of the 4 cards done. And I found out the product I was going to feature sold out. And so I was in a dilemma. It was already like later in the week. And I'm like, do I just show it anyways? Do I not? Like, what do I do? I didn't have time to start over and start creating all new cards. So I decided to just go with it. So I'm featuring the Dainty Flowers Designer Series paper. And this was a free pack of paper that you could receive during celebration, which would run till February 28th. Well, it's sold out and you can no longer get it for free or at all. So I'm hoping that you already have a pack of this beautiful paper so you can follow along. And if you don't, I hope that you just feel inspired by the designs, kind of take the bones of the cards and the sketches and the general designs and kind of run with it and use what you do have on hand. So if you don't have the paper, this is more of an inspirational tutorial. And if you do have the paper, I hope maybe you still feel inspired to create some of these cards that I'm going to show. So, Karen, I saw your name pop up. I'm like, her boss must not be home, must not be at work. Good morning, Pam and Jerry. Hello, you're the first live. Thank you so much for coming. Debbie's here, Patricia, Kim's here. Oh, it just jumped. Amy, Joan, Margaret. 3 a.m. in Australia. Margaret, you're going to be tired tomorrow. Or maybe just some card making will soothe you off to bed. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with me. So although this paper is no longer available, oh, it's so sad. It's so pretty. There are a slew of other products that are still available during celebration that are for free with a $50 order or a $100 order that goes until February 28th. So don't not place your order because you can't get this paper. There's plenty of other options and really fun things that you can choose from, including some from the annual catalog, like embossing folders, punches, kits, everything. Okay, which means with the end of celebration, we are closing in on like the last couple of days to get in on that awesome starter kit promotion that Stampin' Up has going on right now. It's literally the best that I've seen it yet. If you're considering joining, I highly recommend it. Now is a great time to do it. Love to have you on the Art and Soul team. I'm not going to dive into all the details, but make sure you're getting my weekly email because that's where I kind of break everything down. If you don't get my weekly email, you should. It goes out Tuesdays, so it went out yesterday. And I try and throw in like Stampin' Up news if I have an upcoming event, kind of a wrap up of the cards I made the week prior. Anyways, if you go to jamieb.com, I think it's the very first option. I think it is. We'll get you on my weekly email. So go to jamieb.com. You got to spell my name right. JAIMIEB.com. First option there. It will get you on my weekly email. Okay. Let me break down what we're doing this week. Hello, Angie. Good morning. Good morning, Debbie from Indianapolis. Okay. So I always say paper crafting is so adaptable. Whether you're a beginner, whether you've been doing this for 20 plus years, that's a big spectrum, right? And you think, oh my gosh, it's not for me because I'm just starting out, or whatever, fill in the blank. It's not for me because fill in the blank. But really, paper crafting is so adaptable. It can just really mold itself to whatever you're accommodate. That's the what I want, to whatever you're looking for. If you need quick and easy, go for it. If you want all the bells and whistles, go for it. If you fall somewhere in the middle, absolutely. There's really something for everyone. Okay. So that's kind of what I wanted to prove with my cards this week. So the Dainty Flowers. I think I've been saying floral. It's flowers. Designer series paper. Again, it's not available anymore. But I'm just a huge fan of designer series paper. So you can take kind of the concept of these cards and easily adapt it to whatever pack of paper you have around. So this one here is literally stamps, ink, paper. There's no ribbon. There's no embellishment. 2 colors of cardstock, white and rich raspberry, the designer paper, 1 ink color, and 1 stamp set. So a stamp set, an ink, a designer paper, and 2 packs of paper. And then all you need are like basics, like a paper trimmer and some adhesive. Bam, and you have a card. So when I say literally you don't need a lot of supplies, you really don't need a lot of supplies. This is a beautiful card. The sentiment fits perfectly. I love just the look of it. The hardest part about this card will be centering that sentiment. As you can see, it's not quite centered. And the one I did over on YouTube, Instagram yesterday definitely isn't centered. That's literally the hardest part. The sentiment comes from the Blessings of Home stamp set. That is the hardest part of that card. Good morning, Jay. Oh, it's still available in Australia. Lucky ducks. We're all jealous over here in the United States and Canada. Hello, Deb. Good morning. So let's say you have been crafting for a little bit and you have a couple of different, you've expanded a little bit and you're ready for sort of the next step of paper crafting. Something like this would work for you. Okay. This uses rich raspberry, blushing bright, and basic white. So 3 cardstock colors. It uses the designer series paper. It uses 1 ink pad, 2 punches, a ribbon, and embellishments. And honestly, that second punch could have been left out, and either the embellishments or the ribbon could be left out. So really, really simple. Basic punches are very user-friendly, very beginner stamper friendly. I personally love a punch as well because they're so easy to use, honestly. So if you've been dabbling a little bit and you're ready for kind of the next step, or maybe you just need to like whip out a whole bunch of cards, this card is very like, it's meant for you. Okay. This is what I would call like an intermediate card, or what we would call for like a casual stamper, someone that has some experience, maybe has a couple of extra tools, maybe a couple of extra cardstock colors to pull from, but still very, very simple design. Okay. Now, so we have beginner stamper, we have casual stamper. See how it's similar, but just stepped up a little bit. The card I'm going to make for you today has literally all the bells and whistles I can throw on the card. Actually, no, I take that back. It doesn't have ribbon. It has embellishments. It doesn't have ribbon. I could throw ribbon on it. And it brings in the die cutting machine, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and it also brings in some techniques. So this is the card I'm going to be making for you. Now, for all of you people that don't like fussy cutting, I don't want to lose you. Stay with me. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so you can see beginner stamper, casual stamper. This person has the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. She has some embossing folders. She likes to bring in some techniques. She just wants more layers, more everything of her card. And that's the one we're going to be making today, which, by the way, let me just show you my card for tomorrow. It's different. It's not part of this sort of trio series, but I love this bow. And you know how I feel about tying bows. Like, as in I hate doing it. But again, so simple, guys. use designer series paper. Do not leave that in your stack. If you got my email yesterday, I talked about using the product we have. Don't just let it sit on a shelf. Pull out your paper. You could whip out so many cards like this, a nice panel of designer paper, a big chunky ribbon, simple sentiment, and a couple of embellishments. Bam. So easy. Okay. What did Amy say? That fussy cutting has me cowering in the corner. True story. Okay, true story. I have a friend, a dear friend of mine, and we were talking about my videos, and she goes, Jamie, if I see you fussy cutting, like I shut off. I can't watch you fussy cut. like almost like bothers her when I fussy cut. So I get it. It's not for everyone, and you can make a version of this card without fussy cutting. So I gotcha. I understand it's not for everyone, but it is a technique that we can do and to push ourselves to do it. Okay, so my card stock is 4 1/4 by 11. This is Rich Razzleberry. Good morning, Maria Christina. Hello, Carol. Pink waving. Hi, Tina. Tucson. All my Arizona friends are waking up and at them this morning. 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5. Rich Razzleberry. Then I took, so this is another pattern in the designer paper. I love matching or mix and matching patterns from our designer paper. Because they're meant to be mixed and matched, meant in the sense that they're designed, the designs, the colors, they're all meant to work together. So you literally can pull one, and they will work together for the most part. And it just adds another little layer. So this is 3 5/8. Do I dare just go by my head? 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. Oops. Yep. 3 5/8, 4 7/8 pattern, and it's the Blushing Bride pattern. Why do I feel like my thing is coming apart? And I'm gonna just angle it almost as much as I can angle it without it running off the card. And then I have a separate panel of basic white. This is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4, and I'm going to emboss it with my favorite new embossing folder, which I just realized I didn't get my sandwich out for it. On March 1st, Stampin' Up! Is releasing online exclusive product. It will be exclusively online product. Get it? Online exclusive, exclusively online. And these are items that will be available while supplies last. When and if they run out, Stampin' Up! Will retire them or bring them back or restock them. But you need these embossing folders. I was trying to convey how beautiful they are and amazing. I'm sorry, guys. This curl is really bothering me. Let's see if I can tuck it. It's called the Basics 3D Embossing Folder. It's a trio of embossing folders, okay? And the name says it perfectly. They're basics. They go with anything. They're not sort of design specific. We have this one, which is I don't know. It looks pretty cool. We have this one, which is all kind of bubbles. And then this one, guys, I'm sorry. You're going to see it a lot. Like there's no way around it. I have to use it just about as much as I can because I have been dying and just waiting for Stampin' Up! To come out with an embossing folder that is versatile and just kind of a nice, beautiful background. I've been waiting. Who remembers the subtle embossing folder? And they retired it and I was heartbroken. This is like subtle embossing folder 201. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. So where's my sample? It gives this beautiful background and both the negative and the positive sides are equally beautiful. So sorry, I forgot to have my sandwich out for that. So, right, Amy? So pretty. Jerry loves the fussy cut. Jerry, I think it may be you and me alone here this morning that loved a fussy cut. You knew it. It's so pretty, Kim. It's so pretty. Let me emboss it, and then we're just going to sit and have a moment of silence, just taking in how beautiful it is. Okay, so in the machine it goes, and out it comes. Okay, ready? That's the one side. So pretty. Okay. And even that side where you have more of the texture showing, it's so pretty. And it can go with anything. Sympathy, birthday, anniversary, thank you, graduate, you name it. And this embossing folder will work. And that's why I love it so much, because it's just so much bang for your buck. And I've been waiting. Thank you, Stampin' Up. Please don't ever get rid of it. I'm sure they will, but please don't ever, please. If I could beg, I would. If I had any pull with Stampin' Up. I don't. Okay, I'm gonna adhere this down with some liquid glue. Liquid glue, you know how I feel about it. I have mixed feelings, mostly negative, because it gets everywhere. It gets everywhere. I try and be so careful, and somehow like my fingers are covered. But anyways, I'm gonna adhere this down, texture side up, this one straight on. So my designer paper, the Blushing Bride, went sort of da-da, and the texture paper is going straight on. Okay, so I have good news for you. And the good news is that I already fussy cut out the flowers. I figured you wouldn't want to sit here and watch me, although I did time myself and it took me 15 minutes to do. So I figured I would save you the agony of watching me fussy cut this for 15 minutes, and I did it ahead of time. But did I put it away? I think I put it away. Hold on. Did I put it away? I think I put it away. Hold on. I wanted to show you. Did I put it away? Well, oh, here, we'll use this one. So I wanted to just give you a tip for fussy cutting though. I realize this is like fussy cutting on steroids, and it's quite intense. I also realized, oh, there it is. I knew I had it. I also realized that it's not for everyone. So I only 15 minutes, that makes my old answer. But I just knew the end result was going to be so pretty. I realize it's not for everyone. If you're not into fussy cutting, you can do a couple things. You can just cut out the image and put it on the card front instead of the textured paper. Or you can trim this down, make it a little tighter, it's kind of wide, and emboss the designer series paper itself. So you're embossing the pattern in essence. Those would be my two suggestions. If you're not into fussy cutting, or this is like way beyond your capabilities, I totally get it. You can just forego the textured paper and just use that as your panel, or emboss the actual like this pattern of designer paper. Okay. A couple of tips when you are fussy cutting something like this. I would start with the inside. It's by far the harder part, is to cut out all this inside part, because you can't open up your scissors as easily and as wide as you would want to when you're normally fussy cutting. So the first thing you do is you just want to cut in the middle. Again, I'm not going to do this all for you. I'm just going to give you some tips. So bear with me. And you want to cut an oval. It can be as rough. It doesn't have to be anything, perfect. You want to cut out as much of that inside as you possibly can. You want to pare it down without accidentally cutting off a leaf or a flower. And the same with this outside. Like, you want to really get it down. The other hardest part of this is as you're cutting, you start having less and less to hold on to with your opposite hand. So like when I'm like in the last bits, I have like literally nothing to hold on to. That's what makes it really challenging. Good morning, Lori. And then the second thing, and I don't know why I didn't realize this. It took me like a hot minute to think of this. When I first started cutting the inside, I was cutting with my scissors over the paper, and I was cutting like this, and it was really hard because you can't move your scissors. I mean, it's just really challenging. It's already challenging. That just heightened it. I would suggest you coming with your scissors from underneath. So my scissors are underneath the paper here, and it's still a little challenging, but I can kind of make it work and maneuver a little easier than if I had my scissors on the top. So I can and then keep kind of trimming as you go. So see how my scissors are coming up into the hole as opposed to down into the hole. Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah. So those are my 2 suggestions. Pare it down as much as you can. And then when you're cut the inside first. When you cut the inside first, come from the bottom. Don't come from the top. It'll be too challenging. Anyways, but a little paper, like when you're watching the cooking shows and they put like the casserole. Okay, they probably don't put a casserole, but they put the casserole in the oven and they're like, and then you let it cook for an hour and 30 minutes. I don't know why you cook a casserole for an hour and 30 minutes. Anyways, and so they take it out. They're like, ta-da! That's what this is. Like, so you're gonna do all that and voila, it's all done. And you have this beautiful cut wreath. It really is worth it if you have the patience and a steady hand. And you don't have to do it. I cut this pretty detailed. I cut it really as detailed as I could get it. You don't have to cut it that detailed. You could cut just a simple, or hold on, let me think. I'm thinking on the fly, which is never a good thing. I wonder if you could use like an oval die cut to cut out a little bit of the center. I don't know. Fiddle around with it. Figure it out. Find what works best for you. Don't just discard it. Now, to make this even more glorious and beautiful, we're going to, why did I do that? I cut all that and then I throw this dimensional on wrong. We're going to put this up on dimensionals and I'm going to use some full-sized and then some minis if I can find it there. And then a bunch of minis. I'm going to put a ton on because I don't want any sags. I don't want it drooping anywhere. I want it to stay nice and propped up. These minis are great. No more having to cut down your full-size ones into itty-bitty pieces. Now we have mini dimensionals. I might put one there. Okay. Right side up. Okay. So load it up with dimensionals. It'll take you equally as long to pull all the dimensional backings off. It's so pretty, right? I mean, it is a pain in the butt. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't cutting this for 15 minutes and going, oh, this is so much fun. But the end result is stunning. If you happen to have one of those scan and cut machines, that would become your best friend right now. I don't. Someone asked me about that on Instagram. She's like, why don't you just buy a scan and cut? Like, I really don't mind fussy cutting. And this is probably by far the most intricate thing I've ever cut out. I've cut intricate things, but this has intricate in like the circle and around it. Did I get all of them? I think so. Okay, so this is going to go center on my white panel. See, guys? See? Isn't that so worth it? It's so pretty. I'll cut your full-size dimensionals if you snip all the flowers for me. I don't think I'll be snipping very many of these. I'm going to be making a whole bunch of these cards. This is the card I'm going to be mass producing. The one that does not require any fussy cutting. Okay. So then I was like, okay, what sentiment do I use? And I kind of went back and forth, but you cut out that whole wreath. I did not want it to be like majorly covered. I wanted to really let it shine still. So I pulled out my favorite, one of my favorites. I say favorite a lot, but this definitely like top 5. I love it so much. The Sending Smiles bundle. If you don't have this, I'm a sucker for bubble words. Anything that has bubble words, like I'm there. Hence why I'm showcasing the Love for You bundle at Stamp Camp on this Saturday, because I love bubble letters. So I love this, and I love how it's just kind of angled and it's cursive and kind of feminine, but such a sweet sentiment at the same time. So you're going to need the sending dies, and they're going to be well loved. I'm warning you right now. They're well loved. I warned you. Can't say I didn't warn you. I warned you. Okay. So you have a couple of things here. You have a detailed sending. There you are. I was looking for you. Okay. So you have a detailed sending. Oops, that's not what I wanted, which is this here, the purple. And then you have an outline sending that it gets matted on, which I did on basic white. And then you have two sized labels for like the sentiment, because there's a whole bunch of ones you can pick. And you have smaller ones, which would fit like the smaller die. And then you have larger sentiments, which would fit the larger die. And you can just mix and match these. All these flowers have little bits to cut them out. I mean, I've used this. I love this bundle so much. So I'm going to use the smaller ones. Right? I love bubble letters. They just stand out and they're fun. Who doesn't want to get a bubble letter? Now, I have to say, as I was pulling out cardstock to do this live, I was like, oh, I pulled out Rich Razzleberry, and I'm like, wait, that's not the color I used. I accidentally used Blackberry Bliss, but I really like it. So I'm going to go with Blackberry Bliss again for my sending, even though it was completely accidental. I thought I was doing Rich Razzleberry. I must have had a piece of Blackberry Bliss in my Rich Razzleberry. Okay, I'm going to do these in one swipe. Oh, I should have stamped the sentiment, then I could have only done it once. Okay, so that's that. And that's that. What do I do with, there it is, my take your pick tool. So I don't want to stretch my letters. Did that cut? Yeah. I don't want to stretch my letters. If I were to pull the words out, it would stretch them. So I'm going to use my take your pick tool and just kind of poke it out a little bit. Of course, it didn't come out, so that didn't really work. But I don't want to stretch them, if that makes sense. I want them just to kind of fall out. Oh, don't you be silly on me. Why is my eye not giving me problems? Oh, there we go. You little stinker. The eye did. Oh, and it didn't cut clean. Hold on, I can fix it. Where are my scissors? I think I can fix it. Let's put it that way. Yeah, that's good enough. Oh. Oh, I lost my tip. There's that little tip for my eye. I got to save that. And then the little pokey end on your take your pick tool is so handy. Oh my glory. Nope, that didn't cut through, did it? I probably should have put it in and out twice, but I didn't. Okay. So this is all garbage. That's my eye. And I'm going to take my liquid glue and oh, is that my eye? That is my eye. Very, very, very light-handedly, just put a little bit of glue. You don't have to load up the whole thing because a little bit will hold it on. And just kind of put it here, there, everywhere. I think I want a little bit on my G. There we go. Okay. And then it layers over this one. You could also use an adhesive sheet, although I like the liquid glue because I can kind of wiggle my letters around and make sure they're layered right. But an adhesive sheet would work as well. Okay. I love bubble letters so much. And then I'm going to put a tiniest little dot of glue for my eye. And then let's see if I can flip this over. Flip over. There we go. Pick it up with my putty tip of my take your pick tool and just, there we go. I feel like I'm doing surgery. There we go. Perfect. Okay, hold on. I mean, would it even be a Wednesday if my nose wasn't like, oh, we're doing a Wednesday live? Time to start running like crazy. Ugh, every single time. Okay. My sending is going to go that way. So I'm only going to put dimensionals on like the N, the D, and the I. And I had them. What did I do in my dimensionals? They were here. So I'll just use minis. The N, the D, Let's see here. I think I can put a little one there. Hopefully it doesn't show. Is that enough? I think we're good. Okay. So pull these guys off. Oops. Oh, these dimensionals, they end up everywhere. Am I right? So the nice part about angling is you don't have to worry about getting it straight. So very forgiving. And then I didn't grab my rich raspberry. I'm going to stamp the sending a card to say hello. Actually, I'll do it up here. Stamped in rich raspberry. I guess I could have stamped it in blackberry bliss, but like I said, I didn't realize that until like just a little while ago that wasn't rich raspberry. Okay. I use the small die to cut it out. And it's going to nest like right in there. So below the 2 and the say, I'm going to put a couple dimensionals, just 2. Like so. Let's see if I can get this straight. Where's my take your pick tool? Did I put 2 dimensionals on that one? I wonder if I put 2. No, I only put 1. It's not laying super flat. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it off and put it a little lower. I don't know why it's not staying so. I'm going to put 2. I don't know why it's not staying so flat. But let's not fuss with this. I'm going to higher it just a bit by layering 2 dimensionals over each other. Like that. That way it for sure stays flat and it doesn't pucker. No puckering allowed. Okay. And then we're going to add some embellishments, which I didn't grab ahead of time. But, oh dear, where are they? But I can't find the ones I used. Oh, there they are. The adhesive backed milky dots. Believe it or not, I used the yellow, the Mango Melody. Like, who even am I? This is what I have left over from my product share. I just want to put the cap on this so I don't accidentally, like poke myself. And I don't know where I put these. I guess I'm just going to scatter them around. There was no really rhyme or reason. You don't really see them too much because they kind of blend, but I don't know. It's a nice little touch. Can you tell I don't know where to put it? Where do I want to put this guy? There. I don't know if I love it there, but that's where it's going. Okay. Ta-da! Sending a card to say hello. And you can use any of sending a card, sending love and big hugs, sending birthday wishes, sending a note of thanks, comfort and strength. You can do so much. That's why I love the Sending Smiles bundle. It's so versatile. So just to recap, okay? If you're just beginning, you're just starting out, you don't have a ton of product, don't give up. Don't just throw in the towel or say I can't do this. You can make really simple, beautiful cards. I love something like this. It's totally my jam. Less is more in my book, always. If you have a couple more things and have maybe a couple of punches or a couple more supplies on hand, you can do something like this using couple of cardstocks, 1 ink pad, couple of punches, minimal product. And then this one has all the bells and whistles. You need the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. You're using a bundle. You're using an embossing folder, a couple different patterns of paper, and just layering and more supplies, more technique. And of course, that beautiful fussy cutting, which we all love. So unfortunately, this paper is no longer available, but you have other designer series papers. You do, and they're beautiful, and you can do a lot with them. So pull out your packs, get a little creative with how you can use them for like a simple, more casual or more avid style, and just go for it and have fun with it. Okay. If you have any questions, you would like to place an order, you'd like to get my weekly email, or maybe you just want to send me an email and say hi, which I would love, you can reach me at jaimieb.com, JAIMIEB.com. It's sort of my catch-all link. All my links are over there. You can follow me, my blog, my newsletter, all my socials, everything. Okay. So that's it for today, everyone. Thank you so much for swinging by today. I will be back next week, same time, same place, and I hope to see you then. Happy stamping, everyone. Bye-bye.